Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're having a great day. It's been a bit miserable here. It's been raining all day, everywhere's flooding. I drove through one of the lanes where I went for a walk the other week, where I've done one or two paintings, and the water was just running off the fields, flooding the roads. It's all a bit grim, but my studio's nice and warm and toasty, so I've been able to paint, so that's good. I've been painting in Krita. I haven't used Krita for a long while, but somebody, in fact it was Alvaro Suarez Iseza, I hope I've pronounced your name right, sorry if I haven't, asked me to do some tutorials in Krita, and I thought, you know what, I haven't looked at Krita for a long time, so I downloaded the latest version, and I thought I'd give it a go. And this is the painting I came up with. So if there's an app that you want me to try out that I haven't used before, or I haven't used for a long time, put it in the comments. I'm always up for trying new things, except for anything perhaps Adobe, because of the high expense of renting that software. Anyway, painted in Krita. Let's have a look at how I got on. So I begin with a canvas A3 size, 300 dots per inch, and I've just put the thumbnail on the screen, and it covers up part of the toolbars in Krita, but all it's covering up is the brushes, and I'm only using one brush, so it won't affect what you're actually seeing at all. I sort of played around with it, and that is definitely the best place for the reference image to go without really obstructing the view of any of the tools that are selected. And I am using the wet bristles rough brush, which is found in the paint tool set, and I've just used that one brush. At one point I tried a different brush just for about 3 strokes, and then I went back to this one. What I am using a lot to select colours is once I get a fair few colours on the canvas, and you see these blend together beautifully with this brush. It really is a nice brush. I use the stylus and press the bottom button, which I think is the same as pressing the right mouse key, and you get up this circular menu in the center of the screen. And I was selecting colors that I'd already, because as you pick a color, it adds it to a little color palette which is available in that selection, and it's also available on the right hand side of the color picker as well. But I like to use it because just clicking that button on the stylus, it's right in front of you. I can select the colour. There we go. I mean, it's really fast on the screen because this is speeded up 4 times. But that's how I start to pick the colours. And it's even faster than sort of moving your cursor over to where a colour is and selecting it. I haven't looked at the hotkeys on this app yet, so I don't know what is the sort of shortcut key to select colour. I've worked out sort of enlarging and moving a screen and so on, and brush sizes, but I haven't worked out how to pick a colour. I could have done, but I'd already started the video and I didn't want to stop the video and then start looking through menus and things, so I just carried on, and it didn't interrupt the flow of the painting. This is a really nice brush to use. I'm not so sure as if it is a brush that you can use all on its own to finish a painting. I mean, I have done here because I wanted to just test this brush and sort of push it to limits and not try any other brushes. But I think if you really want some fine detail, you might want to try 1 or 2 other brushes. But just look how it smears those colours. You can sort of, I mean, I've got a dark colour selected there, and I'm sort of, you can paint by pressing on hard, and then if you just put light pressure on, you can push existing colour out of the way. It really is lovely to use. It's just like pushing paint around. And for a free app, if you've got a PC just get Krita, because it's tremendous. It really is excellent. It's got vector tools in it. I've not looked at those yet or played around with them or anything. I think you can do animation with it, and I noticed there was templates to when you create an image, you can create an image for doing a comic book or for doing a cartoon type piece of work, and lots of different templates to use. So a lot of thought's gone into this app, and it's not a photographic app. It is a painting app, and it really is for free. It's really good. It didn't crash on me once. I have to say, there we go. There's me selecting colours and things off that colour wheel. Really is nice. I have to say that the menus are a little bit cluttered, and I've tried to, when I was messing about with it, not in this picture, I tried to select an item and enlarge it and move it, and I couldn't work out. Within the space of about 5 minutes I was messing about with it, I couldn't work out how to do it. So it's not as quite as intuitive as one or two other apps, but it's not difficult. I mean, I've gone straight in here, selected, I mean, all the brushes are arranged in nice, easily to understand categories like paint and sketching or inking or whatever. You just choose your brushes and away you go. And with this colour wheel, or this wheel thing where you've got sort of lots of tools in front of you, there's like a selection of brushes that add palette knives on for me to use. I don't know if because I have used this app before, but it was over a year ago, and I pretty much forgot everything that I did with it. And I'm not so sure if I'd set that wheel up myself and put those brushes in it, or if it was just a default setting that had got some really nice, appropriate brushes. But just look how that paint smears around. It really is lovely. It's got the one thing I have to say about the brush texture, though, it did, if you made the size of the brush too big, it began to look a little bit like a repeat pattern, which wasn't too good. So there is kind of, but even if you do make the brush big, if you start sort of pushing the paint around, you can soon disperse that repeat pattern and make it look much more natural and organic. So there are ways around it, and just using the brush in a sensitive way so you don't get that repeat pattern appearing. I just love the way the paint's smudged together. This was all done on one layers. I didn't want to mess about with layers at all, so I was really pleased when I picked the white up and it just went on just as nice as all the other colours. I think it's with using real paint recently. When I use white and you put it on the canvas, you don't just get that white, nice, crisp colour. It picks the colour up underneath. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't checked out my painting with natural materials, i.e. oil paint and watercolours, I've got a new channel. It's called Steve Elliott, Fistful of Brushes. Don't forget to go and check that out. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe and share. That would be much appreciated, because it's just all about painting traditionally. And I have to say, first of all, the painting digitally has definitely influenced how I've painted with traditional paints. I haven't touched traditional paints for over 2 years. I've just painted digitally. And then to go back to paint, my painting had improved dramatically from where I was at before, just by using digital paints. But now I'm sort of getting back into it again. The techniques and strategies I'm learning in the traditional painting, that from the bad habits that I've had to forget from the digital painting that I'd picked up, they're coming back with me to the digital. So first of all, the digital has influenced the traditional, and now the traditional is influencing the digital again. So it's kind of, they really do go together really well. And I get, when I'm painting with digital paint, I get really excited that I'm going to be doing a painting with oil paints in a you know, a couple of days after, and then vice versa. Once I've done the oil painting, I'm really excited about picking up the tablet and doing some digital work again. So it's working out really well for me. I'm loving it. I'm just putting this gate in, and these colours do just sort of just pushes. I'm actually using, at some points I was using a dark colour and just pushing lighter colour into it to get the effect I wanted. It really is a nice smear. It feels very oily and liquid. A really nice brush. And Krita, unbelievable. It hasn't crashed on me. I've not had any of the problems that I've had with Corel Painter. The brush, if I keep the canvas size down to a reasonable size like A3 300 DPI, I'm not really suffered with any lag too much. I did try a really big canvas and it was a little bit laggy. It was still very usable, but it was sort of if you put a big brush that would fill like a tenth of your canvas in one stroke, you'd do the stroke and then you'd have to wait a second while it went across the canvas. But if you're doing big strokes like that, I don't see that as a point. So go and get Krita and try out this wet bristles rough brush. Really is very, very good. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour around Krita. Well, this test using the wet bristles rough brush in Krita. If you have, big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.